Okay, in this video we're going to be installing our vinyl decals for the steering wheel in either your Juniper, your Refresh Model Y, or Refresh Model 3, Juniper or Highland. In this case we're doing it in our Juniper. This is what the wrap looks like. If you want the Highland one, you'll see they're pretty much the same, except of course you get the indicator buttons on the Highland, so same basic concept. For the install video we're going to use Matrix Black. As I go through the install, I'll kind of explain the pros and cons of each of the different options. In the pack also, you'll get a little squeegee and a couple of alcohol wipes, and that's where we're going to start. So if you're going to be using one of the thicker vinyls, like the Matrix Black or the carbon fibers, black or white, you don't need to get every speck of dust off, just need to make sure the surface is pretty clean. If you're going to use one of the thinner vinyls, the satin white and so on, you do just need to be a little bit more diligent, try and make sure there's no dust or anything left behind. I'm being quite gentle here, I'm trying not to activate all the buttons, especially the screen wash. We'll see how that goes when I actually install the vinyl. And then one other thing to note, I'm installing this outside. It is 29 Celsius, so whatever that is, 90 something Fahrenheit. Ideally you would do this inside, right? You want the environment quite cool. I have the AC running. Ideally you wouldn't have the AC running, you don't really want it blowing on the vinyl while you're installing it, but for the purpose of the video this is what we're doing. So we're going to start, and I should say that top tip, keep this in the freezer until you need it. So if you can freeze it for 10 minutes is plenty before doing the installation. It makes the vinyl more rigid, makes it much easier to install, because we're going to be lining up over each of these little icons. And especially for the thinner vinyls, the satin white and so on, really helps. So do that if you can. All right, we're all clean. So I'm going to first of all install the bottom section. Also wash your hands before you start, but because it's inevitably going to be touching the back of the vinyl. So if your hands are clean, you're not going to contaminate the vinyl with any grease or oils or dirt or so on. But for this piece, we're going to line it up on the bottom here first, get that nicely sort of anchored in, and then we're going to work up each side. So I'm going to come up here first of all, just kind of sort of guide it very slightly, oops, so that we're covering all of the metal, and then we'll come back to that in a second. We're going to do the same on this side as well, so just get back underneath that, just sort of guide it up inside the little aluminum trim. Go all the way up. Just get that last bit. You'll see that basically I'm steering the vinyl to where it needs to go, and that's the whole idea really. So we've got this all locked in. So now we're just going to use really fingertips just to get this bottom piece all set. If you get any creases, just peel it back and go again. But you can see that's looking pretty good. Got a little gap down here, so we're going to fix that. Now I think on the website, we sell these for I think 18 bucks or something like that. I'll add an option to just order two. Add a second set for another $5 or something like that. Just gives you the peace of mind if you make a mistake as you're installing it. But you'll see these go on actually really quite easily. Okay, so that's that bottom section done. Didn't really need to use a squeegee for this, but do be diligent kind of working out any air bubbles, so it always helps to kind of finish up with the squeegee. Okay, onto this left panel now. So I'm going to peel this back. Be a little careful when peeling it back, we don't want to stretch the vinyl or anything. And then all we're doing in this is kind of like a little puzzle, but we want to line up all three of the icons. Obviously the cutout for the scroll wheel, and then this little sort of detente or whatever that is. But and I'm going to kind of look straight at it. I'm sort of sat back looking straight at it, and we're just going to kind of tuck it in behind the horn, and we're just going to sort of drift it around and look at all three alignment points. So it's something of a precise art, and there we go. So when it lines up perfectly, just apply a little bit of pressure, sort of touch it into place with your finger. Now I'm going to get the squeegee Again, paying attention, I really don't want to squirt the screen if I can avoid it, so I'm going to be careful not to hold it long enough to do that. But just use the squeegee, and then with your thumb, just kind of roll it underneath. Just the little sort of friction from doing that just kind of helps rotate it over. And there you go, that's that one done. And then last but not least, this right side. Same concept, of course. And again, if you have the Highland, obviously same exact concept, just this side is going to be a little different with the two indicator arrows to line up as well. And if you want to avoid touching the back of it, you can sort of use the squeegee just to act as a finger, if you like. But I'm just going to hover this in place until we get all things lined up like we do there. Touch it, make sure that once you've sort of removed everything it still looks good, which it does. So now we're just going to use the squeegee. Nothing you can press over here does much damage, so we're going to be a little bit more aggressive. The same thing, just kind of roll this bottom edge under and get the squeegee to finish up. So as I said, got some bubbles there, so I'm just going to put this back. So in terms of the vinyl we recommend, I'm using Matrix because it's our favourite. So that's always going to be our sort of #1 recommendation. It has the thickness to it, so you don't have to be quite so diligent in cleanup. It has that sort of tech look as well, which looks quite cool. If you've ever seen the Cybertruck dash, that's got the same pattern on it. It's just a great all-round material. It doesn't show fingerprints too much. Does a really good job. Same for black carbon fibre, if that's your thing. That looks really, really nice, and you can see the depth of it because just the lighting and everything works out really well. If you want something different, satin black looks really nice, especially if you have the white upholstery. It's a really good match for that. Then of course you have matte black, which honestly I recommend everybody not to buy the matte black, but it's still our second or third top selling vinyl colour. Less so for the steering wheel, of course, because this is all black anyway, so really all you're doing is sort of matching up this section. But certainly for the center console, the dash wrap and so on, really, really popular option. The only downside is it shows some fingerprints, so especially if you have like Cheeto fingers or something like that. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, that's it. That's how you install the steering wheel wrap for your Model 3 or Model Y refreshed. Thanks for watching.